Hey everybody, this is Josh at CollectionDX.com here with another review. This is a Bandai Super Mini-Pla kit review of the, it's called the Shogun Megazord in America, but it was from the show Karke Ranger in Japan, and this robot combined is called Muteki Shogun. So it is a series of model kits that you put together, and each one is an individual posable figure, and then they all combine. When you buy the box from Japan, you just get a large outer box with inside you have a bunch of smaller boxes, and each of these is 1 through 5, and they all contain the model kits. They're all pretty much the same aside from the little number in the corner, and they also each have a piece of gum. Something cool I wanted to show here on the side is this little black bar meant to replicate when you would buy the toy in Japan. Originally you'd buy the box set and it would have a handle on the side for a salaryman or whomever to pick it up and carry it home. That's what that represents, and it's kind of a neat touch. The giant beast generals. This kit came from HobbyLink Japan. Thank you to them for sending that over. There will be an American branded version for under Power Rangers, I believe, at some point, brought over by Bluefin, but this is not that version. As far as I know, the toy will be pretty much the same. In America, when they brought the DX toy over in Power Rangers, this one here was recolored pink to show it's the girl ranger, because we need that. I don't know if they are planning on changing that color, or if they probably are just going to leave it alone, because that's typically what they do with these things. Each of these, I don't know, each one took about 35 minutes to put together, maybe an hour. There's a lot of stickers on each one. There's a lot of trimming to do. The construction's relatively easy. It's more, if you want to trim all the little bits of flash off and get the stickers just right, it's going to take a little bit of work. So we're going to go through each one of these, and then we're going to go through the combination and see them all together. So the first one is Red Sourdough, which is, I think, supposed to be a monkey. Each one of these are sort of an animal. I don't know if this is like the monkey from the Monkey King or not, but each one sort of represents an animal. And this one is because it forms the central part of the Muteki Shogun. It is a little more involved. It has this little disc weapon here, which just plugs into the hand. While the other ones, the left and right arm and the left and right leg have similar construction, this one is a bit different in that, like I said, it's the centerpiece. And it's probably the most frustrating one in terms of construction and transformation. The other ones are really sort of simple. This one frustrates me to no end. And, it is a model kit. It's not a toy. Things will pop off when you transform. But, it technically does have a articulated waist. You just have to lift that a little bit there. The arms are on ball joints. The elbows hinge, swivel, rotate, head rotates. You have some good articulation in the legs, and you kind of have a knee joint here. And the feet are kind of weird because they only sort of connect in the back here. And so you can get some good poses out of it, and it's fun. There's a lot of stickers. All of this stuff is stickers. The lines, the gold. And in some cases with these kits, even though the parts are molded in gold, they also give you a gold sticker to go over it. The most frustrating stickers out of all of it are these hand and arm stickers, because they're supposed to mold kind of around the texture detail on the arm, and I wish they'd either just leave the arm flat and put the detail on the sticker, or just paint it, or just give me the rings or something. It was a bit of work to do that. And the bulk of the time on the assembly of these is the detail work, the sticker work, in my opinion. So, for those of you who remember the Bandai toy, this one also does hold the head of Muteki Shogun in the chest. So that comes out like that, and we'll look at that during later on. But we're going to just transform each piece of this as we go. And there's a few things to note that will help you in your journey. So first thing is, there are these little pegs and hinges, so you can see that this whole arm assembly moves in and out on a hinge. When you're doing this assembly, it lines up a certain way to go into a hole, but depending on where you have it on the peg, it may not line up, so you may have to fiddle with that to get it to where you want it to be. And you'll notice it in different places, that like you might have to have it up when you're in one instance and down in another. So these kind of rotate in and out of the way. Essentially, you're going to end up with the arms stuffed in like that. And the way that these arms go, you have to go kind of counterintuitive. See, now here the peg is too high, I can't go in, so I gotta push the peg down so I can get it all done. And then you just sort of close that up. And that's put away, leaving the connection pegs on the side. Now, these legs are such a pain in the ass, because they're not designed like toys, sadly. They're designed by model kits, so they don't have the same integrity where things just sort of stay together. But essentially what we're going to do is we're going to move this like this, but this whole front and back section needs to move in unison, and I think it'll work better on this side. But the problem is that this peg that holds it to the base doesn't like to stay on during the process. So watch how this goes. And see this peg here, it's going to line up inside of that when you're done. Ooh, that actually went okay. Alright, well, one side went okay. Watch me swear. Oh, wait. Maybe we'll get this to work right. Not ideal if you have big fingers. I'll tell you that much. And it's surprisingly tight. This is not me being gentle. It is the connection is very tight. Huh. Well, I'll be damned. Oh, well, there you go. That just came off. And you gotta kind of get it to just line up. And there we go. That's pretty much the center right there. Alright, this next one is called White Karke, and it's basically the animal is supposed to be as a crane. It becomes one of the arms of Muteki Shogun and has these sort of Karke blades, I think they're called, and they can go like that. They could be held like that. But there's also a neat little, I don't know if you want to call it an Easter egg, that you can put these on the back too. Although this isn't accurate to the show, and these are really just, those holes are connection points for the combined Muteki Shogun. I think it looks really cool to display them that way if you want. This one's very easy to transform. It has good articulation, not so much, I mean there's some, you get the knees, you get hips, the waist, you get head. Alright, so there's actually is really good, really awesome articulation actually on this figure. These are, they do a lot with these little guys. To get you into transformation mode, you just simply push the arms up over here, and this is a lot like the original toy. And then for the legs, you line up the legs and sort of click the pegs together, and you just fold this in. Everything just sort of connects really well. And we'll just show while we're here, it manages to retain a great elbow joint and hands it open. Next up is Yellow Kumard, Kuma, meaning bear, I believe. Because one of the feet has this cool claw weapon, and the hand is already molded on to the handle. So you will need to put the hand back on. Again, pretty nicely articulated considering the size. It's not really any knee joints in here unless you want to use the transformation joint. And again, you have this issue where you have to open it up, rotate the arms in and around, and again, see how it gets caught up there. Gonna move it down a little bit to get that in. The arms bend one way better than the other. There's a little, we can see it. There's a little angle here, so you have to get those angles to go in the same way so they line up. And with the feet, basically come forward, and you can click them together. It might be easier to click them together during this process, right? And then these holes, these pegs and holes line up. There's kind of a gap. One thing I don't like about this is that for transformation, the head needs to be removed. I wish they could have figured out a better way to do that. This one's Blue Logan, or Rogan. It's supposed to be like a wolf, basically. And he looks like a wolf, and he's got the Logan staff, which is his weapon. Kind of a lame weapon, to be honest. But it's a fun little character. It's the same as the Karke. It's just the opposite arm. So the transformation is essentially the same. But we'll go through it anyways. In this case, you don't need a separate hand. The weapon just comes off, and it just goes right over the head there. There's no pegs here to hold it together. It might have been a little more secure, but it's not a big deal. Click those together, come around, and then you have the other arm. Finally, we have Black Gamma, and it's a frog, I guess. Frog robot, and he has this Gamma bow. This is, although there's two hands included with this one, basically one's a bow holding hand and one is not. So you could remove this hand off. I just keep it attached because I don't want to lose it. Attach the other hand back on. And he basically transformed the same way as Kuma. And remember I mentioned that those arms bend a certain way. All right, come on. You gotta get it to go. There we go. You gotta clear the lip. Assemble these together. And bring it down. And make these connect on the sides. Like so. And again, remove the head. All the heads have these little tabs in the back. I don't know why. They're just the designs. Very good. You can probably see where the transformation is going here. We take the body and we line up the pegs on the sides. They just connect. Same thing here. We line up the pegs on the sides. We connect the feet. And then finally, the crane head comes down and sort of fits snugly over the head. And there you are, Muteki Shogun. Now, the final version, once it's together, has a really great articulation. I mean, look at the range of motion in here. It's really phenomenal in these arms. You can actually get a full elbow crunch on the arm there. It's pretty remarkable. You could splay them out. The head does turn, just doesn't hold on exactly great. You just kind of have to hold it while you turn it, but it'll turn. The waist is where it gets a little weird. And that, it's not that it's bad, it's just these skirts come out of alignment really easy because they're very much tied into what legs are doing. So you're gonna just get movement based on that. You do have knee joints with a massive range of motion, and they can splay out if you want to. It's a really great looking piece, pretty much from all sides. There's a weird thing that I'm trying to figure out about the feet, in that the instructions do show you that, oh, there you go, you can separate the feet a little bit, and there's still a ball joint in there, so you can get better poses. Yeah, that works. Alright, I guess I just figured it out. I just figured out Muteki Shogun. What else can we do? The weapons, yes. So the toy does come with the flaming Shogun sword, and you just sort of have to slide it into the groove of the hand. The hand does close around it. There's also, it had that little shield that Kumi uses, which is small, but what Bandai's been doing, and it is a kind of a cool idea, is that they've been combining weapons into one or two kind of mega weapons, and that you can do that here with this one. In this case, we have a combined shield. It just sort of sits in the hand, and this is the weapons from the individual Zords, I guess, God, Beast, Generals, whatever you want to call them. So this isn't in the show, of course, but it's just a way to utilize the weapons to be something other than what they are. And then you can use this, I guess, as another weapon. Just sort of combine them that way. It's cool. I'm not really going to use those. It's nice that they give them a little extra thought about what you can do with these extra parts, but yet I still have two heads that didn't get involved with the transformation, and an extra hand, which I would have rather they spent a little more time figuring that out than getting all of that, weaponry crap out of the way. But hey, I'm not Bandai. Muteki Shogun. I always liked this design. You know me, I'm not a huge Power Rangers fan, or even really a Super Sentai fan per se, but I've always liked the mechs. This is Muteki Shogun, provided graciously by the fine folks at Hobbylink Japan. I am really enjoying the Super Mini-Pla line. I had a lot of fun with the Voltron, aka Golion. That was great. Someone had asked for a Super Robot Chogokin comparison. Do I have any free? So size-wise, yeah, it's about in line with Super Robot Chogokin. They don't have any of the Super Sentai Super Robot Chogokins, like the Megazord, but it seems to be about average for an SRC-sized thing, but it's plastic. But on the shelf, it's gonna look just like it fits in. It's probably gonna be a bit more posable. And it's cheaper, and you get to build it, and I like that. Coming up, I will have a comparison. I did get the Good Smell Motoroid Godmars, so I'm going to be building that very soon. We'll check out how that is, and compare the construction method between what Bandai does versus what Good Smile does. So again, thanks again for watching. I know I haven't been doing too much too often. We'll have some announcements in the new years about where we're going and what we're doing in the future. But for now, thanks for watching. See you next time.